out, she ain't with it. Hard to love again, and I get it. Time and time, she tried to deal with it. But fuck boys, fuck it up for real niggas, yeah. I been in my bag for a minute. I got time today, I might spin it. I'm just trying to say I might heal it. But fuck boys, fuck it up for real niggas, yeah. Yeah.
Know you heard a lot of broken promises, like how he's gonna treat you better than he did the opposite. Come and let me show you what the difference is. I gotta keep your wallet in your purses when you split shit. Take a sis book, got a Michelin cook. When he bitches get loose, I don't give him no push. Give you love and affection, trust and attention. One bad ex really fucked up the next one. Yeah, I won't forfeit, but bringing baggage from your past gonna make this be a short trip. Questioning me daily, saying, baby, please don't play me. I say, girl, I understand I do, but at a certain point, gotta take the steering wheel back and reach a turning point. Always trying to argue every other night. Girl, who the fuck is he to fuck you up for life?
Cold heart, she ain't with it. Yeah. Hard to love again, and I get it. Time and time, she tried to deal with it. But fuck boys, fuck it up for real niggas, yeah. I been in my bag for a minute. I got time today, I might spin it. I'm just trying to say I might heal it. But fuck boys, fuck it up for real niggas, yeah. Yes, I know what you need, but we can take it slow and I'll let you lead. I know you heard it all before, but it's a new breed. And I've been respected, you can check the news feed. I don't got time to waste, but for you I'm willing to spend all the time it take. Your heart, the last thing I'm trying to break. If I don't come correct, gotta find a way. You just gotta set the bar for me. It's hard to reach for a lame type nigga, but not for me. I'm trying to kill whatever got curiosity. The baby used the way you keep it on lock for me. We may fall off track, we may lose contact, but you know we gon' get right back. And it be like that, we go beyond that, so you know we gon' get right back. You know that I got you. Cold heart, she ain't with it. Hard to love again, and I get it. Time and time, she tried to deal with it. But fuck boys, fuck it up for real niggas, yeah. I been in my bag for a minute. I got time today, I might spin it. I'm just trying to say I might.
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. Friday evening, that means fantasy football Q&A, so hopefully you guys are excited. I know I am. Glad to be in here talking to you guys as we are every single Friday here for the rest of the year. Appreciate everybody who was in the chat early. Dan, Rob, A-Rod, David, Sean, AC, Alex, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Alex saying, yo. Dan telling us he's coming here to, let us know that Tyler Shuck, QB1 season, is among us. Happy Friday to you guys as well. Appreciate everybody, like I said. So, look, man, we're going to be answering all of your guys' questions here today. So if you guys got those fantasy football questions, Dynasty, whatever it may be, go ahead and put them in the chat for me. I'm going to get to all of them as quickly as I can. We'll try and get through everybody here for the hour that we are going to be live on stream. But other than that, we're just here to chill, man. So appreciate everybody for coming to hang out. Like I said, let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into it. So first question that I have here is from Rob, and he says keep two, Allen, Lamar, CD, JSN in a 12-team keeper, points per first down and full PPR. So if I'm keeping two of these guys, I think for me, it's probably going to be Allen and JSN. Those are going to be the two keeps for me in that league. What else we got in here? Rob hitting us with the rando question right away, and I like it. What's your favorite state and why? I got love for Nevada. I got love for Las Vegas. That's where I'm from. I do enjoy being here in Texas. It's one of my favorite states that I've lived in. But I think my favorite state to always go visit is going to be California. I love the beaches. Cali weather's good. Like everything about it. So California is one of my favorites. I think it's just good times, man. Every time that I've went to California, it's been a good time. So I can't complain. Contender with Hampton, Genty, and Love already at running back. Would you trade Chase Brown for a 27 mid-first, 29 second, and Elijah Surratt? Market for Chase Brown isn't really there in my league. You got just a stellar running back room with Hampton, Genty, and Love. So would I do it? I think that's probably fair compensation. A 27 first, 29 second, Elijah Surratt. I know you say you're a contender, so the thing that I'm thinking about here is, does that first and second, does that trade package allow you to go make a different move where your league maybe doesn't love Chase Brown as much as you do? Can you go do that here with a different, trade package of that first and that second? So I think it's fair value. If you want to do it, you can do it if you're trying to make that secondary move. If you're trying to contend, I don't think there's a bad argument for keeping Chase Brown, but I think that first and that second, everyone's going to want that in your league. So Yeah, compensation is fine. Sean, what's up, man? Says 10 team, super flex, PPR, no tight end premium. The 102 and the 207 are Rome and Scat. I think I'm going to go with Rome and Scat here, man. And it's really just because the 207, it doesn't have a ton of value for me this year. I do prefer Carnell Tate over Romo Dunze, but the gap between Scataboo and the 207 is large enough that I'm probably going to lean with Rome and Scataboo there if I am trying to play for the future. Now, I think if you are trying to rebuild and you're just trying to find the highest piece, upside piece, it probably is Tate. It just depends on how you view that gap yourself between Scataboo and 207. But pure value, give me Roman Scat. Let's see. Alex says, bro, Dunze season. Shuck can do whatever, but it's finally time for Odunze. Dude, I've been wishing for Odunze season. I thought we had it last year. It looks like we might get it again this year. A-Rod says, should I just slam accept a Rome and mid to late 27 first for Garrett Wilson or keep pushing this guy for added Braylon Allen? I think I would just accept it. Braylon Allen's not going to be a difference maker piece for me. So if you're already accepting or thinking of accepting the Rome in the mid first, I don't think that Braylon Allen's a deal breaker for me, dude. Alex says, I'm saving my Knicks trade for y'all next week. Let's do it, man. And I think you put it in the trade show this week for us. It is going to be I think it's in the trade show this week, or maybe if somebody else's. If you got another one, throw it in. It's going to be in one of these trade shows, or we're looking for Bo Knicks trades. That's all I'm trying to say here. I know we got one this week. What do we got? Rebuilding. Would you trade away Marvin Harrison Jr. in a 27 third for Olave? If I made this move, I was thinking about trading Olave for running back. I have no running backs in there, and running backs, any running backs you would trade away for Olave or just keep. So let's see. Trading away Marvin in a 27 third for Olave. I would do that move. I would rather have Chris Olave. Now, if you do get Chris Olave, I think the question here is where are the running backs, or what running backs do I think you can get? Just looking at my rankings here, guys in a similar range would be Quinshon Judkins would be somebody you could try and get. Could you maybe get a Kenneth Walker? Could you get a Breece Hall? Now, you did say rebuilding, so Quinshon Judkins would be like my primary trade candidate in that range. You could also throw Travion Henderson in there too, but I'm cooling a little bit on Travion Henderson in comparison to Judkins. I think these days I prefer Judkins over Hendo. Moving forward, at least until I see something change with Ramondre Stevenson in that Patriots offense. So, yeah, I think that would be the guy that I would look for. If you can make the Olave trade, which I would. I just think that's a better trade for you in general than trying to flip Olave for Judkins. All right. It has been hot, and it's humid, man. I don't love humidity, and that's been the one thing in Texas that I have not acclimated to yet. Dan says the market for Chase Brown is brutal right now. I can't trade him for a bag of Skittles. I think that tells us that we should be keeping him, because I do like him as a potential point scoring asset for us in season. I think he's going to be really good. I really do think he can be a RB1 for us this year. And then once we see the points coming in, I bet the market starts to heat up. So he's probably a hold more than anything at this point in time if the market is cold in your league on Brown. Steve says 12 teams, Superflex, start 10, tearing it down and trying to figure out what I should be looking for when I sell Higgins and Laporta. I mean, obviously, if you're trying to get a straight draft compensation, you're trying to get a first for both of those guys at least. If you're looking for players, I think Laporta is somebody that you can hold, but you could probably tear him down if you're trying to rebuild from there. Rebuilding options that I would try and grab if I'm tearing him down would be like Brenton Strange. Could I go down and get a guy like, I don't know. I think if I'm rebuilding, I want to keep it cheap for the most part. Brenton Strange is just the one that sticks out. Spoiler alert, I'm doing a video here this upcoming week of buys in Dynasty, and Brenton Strange is on that video. So he's just somebody that I like. Higgins, if you're trying to pivot him somewhere else, maybe if you can move him for a Zay Flowers, a Brian Thomas, KC Concepcion plus, those would be moves maybe that you could try and do if you're trying to pivot him towards another wide receiver. Scribble says, how can you get Roman a first for Garrett Wilson? I would like to get that in one of my leagues. I think I tried not too long ago to trade Garrett Wilson for Roman a second, and I got told hell no. So asking for a first wouldn't have even happened for me. Appreciate you, Rob. Rob, you're the GOAT. Doing the work for me. I like that. Says, make sure to subscribe so we can hit 10K. That would be dope if you guys can do that for us. Tommy, what's up? Says, measly trade, but I don't know. 10 teams start 10 contender. Judy plus Besh plus a 27 third and a 28 third, or Stevenson, Kamara, and Rashad. This one is fairly easy for me. I would go Stevenson, Kamara, and Rashad. I think Rashad has a chance to be the starter. We just talked about Stevenson being an annoying little pest for Travion Henderson, but still going to be productive for you. I will take those two guys over Judy, Besh, and the 2/3 if I'm contending. I don't, we don't discriminate against the measly trades over here. I like getting down and dirty every once in a while, and, we just typically do that in the trade room. What do we got? Contending, would you trade away Odunze and Michael Wilson for Garrett Wilson, or just keep those two? Wide receivers are JSN, Jettas, Odunze, Michael Wilson, Higgins, and Ayuk. I'm assuming that's Jaden Higgins, right? Not T. Higgins. Otherwise, you probably would have put T. Higgins over Michael Wilson in the order. So if it's Jaden Higgins, I don't feel great about Jaden Higgins. I see a little pathway towards upside, but if it start 2 wide receivers, I would probably go with Garrett Wilson. If it start 3 wide receivers here as a contending team, I would rather have Odunze and Michael Wilson. Give me Henderson over Judkins. Yeah, I think it's a debate, but I think Judkins is the better pure runner right now. And while he's not in a higher scoring offense, he's guaranteed volume, which Henderson has not been given so far. Chase Brown's going to finish top 8. I definitely could see that happening. Deal between 2 contenders, 1 quarterback, 10 team, start 8, 3 2027 first, and Derrick Henry or Gibbs in a 27 second. This one is probably going to be a 10-team league. You go with the 3, or you go with Gibbs over the 3 27 first in a 10-man start 8. You want the superstars, and I'm going to get that with Jahmyr Gibbs. So I go there. That's where you want to have the value at, though. 3 to 4 first is probably what you're asking for Gibbs. But in that type of format, 10 teams, start 8, give me the superstar, man. Chase Brown, Odunze, Zay, flag plants this year. Come back to me end of season and see if I'm happy about it or not. I don't know who my flag plants are right now. I have a good feeling Igbuka is one of them. I know Igbuka is one of them. He's one of my flag plants this year. But other than that, I'd have to think about who I really want to stamp as my guys going into 2026 right now. That'll probably be a video as we get, closer to week 1. I'll probably drop that as like a my guys video. But I do have a video coming out this week that's going to be like players currently that are on my rosters. If the player is not on one of my Dynasty teams, they're not eligible to be in the video, but players on my rosters that you would have to overpay me to get rid of. That's going to be one of the videos this week, and Igbuka's on that video as well. No problem, Steve. Appreciate you. We got Hampton and Loveland or Saquon Bowers in a 27 mid first. Well, I'm going to take... Man, this is a good one. I think I'm going to lean Saquon Bowers in the mid first if I'm a contending team. If I'm rebuilding, I start to think about the Hampton side because I do think Saquon is depreciating. But Bowers is a good enough upgrade to Loveland. You get a first thrown in to bridge the gap to Hampton. I think I lean the Saquon in the first and Bowers side here. That's a good trade, though. That's tough. Trade in his league, Ladd, Igbuka, RJ Harvey in a mid-27 first for Bijan, Jacoby Myers in a mid-27 second. I like the trade for both teams. What are your thoughts? Full PPR, no tight end premium, and it's a 1 quarterback. Man, okay, so let's start doing the math. What of this has to equal Bijan? I think Igbuka plus Ladd. And then you could even argue the first. Igbuka plus Ladd and the first equals Bijan, especially in did you say 10-man? I don't know if you said 10-man. You did not. You didn't specify either way, but I think it's a good trade for both teams. I mean, obviously I'd like to see the roster. There's a reason why you break up a guy like Bijan is because you need some depth. So I could see that happening. Man, this is tough. I like the package for both sides, though. Ladd and Igbuka are two guys that I really like. RJ Harvey's a guy that I think is a little bit undervalued right now. Obviously, the first I like. Bijan's a superstar. Yeah, there might not be a bad side of this deal. Typically, when I don't know a lot of the other information, I do tend to lean the superstar, which is Bijan, though. Appreciate you guys. You guys are putting in the work, man. I like that. 2 wide receiver, 2 flex, and super flex. Running backs are Bijan, Henry, Tracy, and McBride level. Okay, that is to the question from earlier, and he said it was Jaden Higgins. So it's 2 wide receiver. Yeah, I think you could go with Garrett Wilson there. Garrett Wilson to me is a weird buy, and maybe this is more helpful than just telling you which side that I like. But Garrett Wilson to me, he's a player that I think we're going to be looking at right now as a small little valley in 2026 where his value probably is lower than we want it to be in Dynasty, at least in the trade market. I still think he can be productive, and I do think Geno Smith, for better or worse, is an upgrade to what we've seen from a passer standpoint over the last couple of years there in New York. So I think the production can still be fine. He was productive last year in the games that he was healthy. But I think we're in this little lull period where he's not really going to see any buzz or any hype until next year, potentially, if the Jets land one of the top quarterbacks in the draft. So I think we're kind of a wait and see moment, but the production should still be fine, that you don't have to worry about him being like unplayable. I don't think that's going to happen for you. 10-team, full PPR, 1 quarterback, trade away Nico and McLaurin for Flowers and Jaden Reed. I would rather have Nico and McLaurin here. I think that one's pretty easy for me. Nico's over Flowers in my rankings, and McLaurin and Reed are close enough that it probably doesn't even matter. Alex says, that's what happened with me and Odunze. I had to get Tate to come off of him, and I'm still upset. I did it, but it is the biggest rebuild, and I got Carnell Tate in a second. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, some players, it's just like, I'm willing to live and die by these players. Because here's the thing, and this is going to be a little rant, Alex. But here's the thing. Sometimes in Dynasty, we can sit here and we do it. We do it over here on this channel. We've all been guilty of it, I know. But it's like we can sit here and analyze fantasy points per game and opportunities and target shares and advanced analytics when you talk about rush over expected or yards over expected, like all of these other things, right? Like we can see those analytics and try and play fantasy football like a data analyst sometimes. And it's good. There's value to that. But sometimes with some players, it's like, I don't know what the hell it is about this guy, but this is one of my guys. I'm willing to live and die with this guy on my roster. Like, I just want him on my team because I want to root for him because I'm a fan. And so, like, you have that sometimes where it's like, that's going to be my player. And I don't care what the data tells me. I'm going to act blind to it. Call me Ray Charles. I don't see it. I just want this player to be successful, and I want to root for him. So he's going to be on my team. And sometimes that's just the most fun way to play. Sometimes it's the most fun. It's a little naive, but sometimes it's the most fun. JMO and Pitts to get Loveland back. LOL, no tight end premium. Don't really need any for the starting lineup other than bye weeks. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that. Upgrading from Pitts to Loveland, I don't mind that. It's not a tight end premium, though. So, honestly, I don't know if I'm paying up for tight end in general. But I don't mind that cost if you need to go do that. The guy trading Bijan had no receivers. Myers was his best. Wow. On an aging roster. The other guy had a bunch of wide receivers. Yeah, I mean, that's why it makes sense, right? Like, those types of deals, like I said, is sometimes you have that player that you just need to break up to help the rest of the team. And that seems like that's what it was with Bijan. Now, I'm going to apologize to you guys. We do live by a train track. So if you hear a train coming through, I'm just going to apologize for it. Usually I can mute my mic during it when I'm recording other content, but while we're live, we're just going to let it rock. So if you hear that, it is what it is. Odunze is a big buy. I like him too. Cheapest way into the Bears offense, getting so much hate this offseason. I think people are overblowing the foot issue with him. He had that comment where it's like a new normal, trying to get used to the new normal. I think people are overblowing that a lot. So it is kind of just, that's what we do in the offseason, man. In the offseason, we take every little news report, every little beat report, every little whatever quote that we get coming out of a building, and we hyperanalyze it and overanalyze it, and then people will form opinions, good and bad, about those players because of them. Offseason boredom, man. Sometimes we just beat it too much. We beat it like it's a dead horse, man. Steve says, feel this to my core. I call them Steve's guys. Yeah, my guys, man. I love them. Elijah Moore was an example for you. Fair. I've had my share of good and bad. I remember in the Amon-Ra St. Brown draft class in 2021, Amon-Ra was one of my guys. I had him pretty high. One of my friends, because I wasn't even making content at the time, but I was still grinding film, and I had a subscription to the Dynasty Nerds film room. Funny, because I work for them now, but I had a subscription. I would go in and I'd watch film and I'd write my notes, and I was doing this while I was at work. I was fresh out of college. I was working at a window washing company because I graduated right out of COVID, and nobody was hiring. Everybody was going off of, there was layoffs all over the place, and nobody was doing anything. So I had to take any job I could get just so I could pay my rent and make sure that my wife and I were good, because we had just gotten engaged. Well, we'd been engaged for a year. We were getting married later that summer. And so I was like, I'm going to wash windows if I need to. Ended up working my way into a manager role to where I could just sit in the office and kind of make sure that I was answering the phone, scheduling appointments, booking stuff for the other window washers. And I was sitting in there all day when I wasn't on the phone, watching tape on the Dynasty Nerds film room of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Trey Lance and Rashad Bateman and a lot of these other guys in that draft class. And Amon-Ra was one of my guys. My buddy was like, he's garbage. I hate him. Don't think he's good. Turned out real good for me. You know who else was one of my guys in that draft class? Trey Lance. So that didn't turn out good for me. But you have your guys every year, either in the rookie draft or just veteran players that are going into the next season of their NFL careers, and you love them. So I love them, man. There's nothing more fun than just having your guys in fantasy football and rooting for your guys. Because at the end of the day, what are we? We're all fans of the sport. We play this because we're fans of the sport. It's fun to root for the guys that you like. Hell yeah. It says that's dope. Yeah, man. The journey's been crazy, man. One day maybe we can get all the way into how this whole thing has spiraled for me. But yeah, the journey to being a fantasy football content creator is kind of crazy for me in general. But it's been a blessing nonetheless. Who do you think is the leading fantasy point scorer out of the pass catchers on the Bears? I think if I had to pick one today, it's probably going to be Loveland. I think he has the safest floor of the two. Burden and Rome, I like both of those guys as players. I do like Rome more as a player than Burden, but it comes down to the usage on what happens with him. I have a feeling we could see Luther Burden being used pretty beneficially for fantasy football purposes. But I think when it's all said and done, Loveland's probably the most reliable of the group. And if you're playing in any type of premium where you're getting a half point or 0.75 or whatever for the tight end position, he's probably the highest scoring asset for them out of the pass catchers. AC says, I'm a general manager and all I do is watch your videos at work. I love it, dude. I used to do the exact same things. Like I said, I would watch stuff at work. I was just fantasy football all the time. I would have one tab because I had two monitors at that company, and I would have one tab with like all the work stuff that I had to be working on that day. It would be whatever sales suite that we were working in to try and book appointments and all that stuff. And then my other monitor, I would have it split in half. So it would be like Dynasty Nerds Film Room, or it would be YouTube, so I could watch some fantasy football content or whatever. And I would have like a Google Sheets open at the same time, so I could do all my notes and my data keeping and whatever. Everything that I was doing, I just was deep in the sheets, and not in the sheets that you probably wanted to be in. I was in the Excel sheets, man. So that's where we were, bro. But I feel that grind, and it's fun, man. There's nothing better. In a startup draft, super flex, 12-team, 0.1 running back reception, 0.5 tight end premium, full PPR, 4-point passing touchdown, 105 pick, Drake May, Next pick, rank in the best order. Okay, so we're just picking who's the best player in this format right now. JD5, Lamar, Burrow, Neighbors, Lamb, Hampton, McBride, London, Herbert. Well, the highest in my ranking would be JD5. JD5 is the highest in my rankings right now. I think after that, I'm probably looking at Lamar, Lamb, and Neighbors. But JD5 right now is probably the highest one for me. And to be able for you to go in and go Drake May and Jaden Daniels in a super flex 1 and 2, I think that's amazing, man. I think that's amazing. But you want me to rank the whole thing. So JD5, Lamar, Lamb, Neighbors, London, Burrow, McBride, Hampton, probably Hampton over McBride, and then Herbert. Sorry, that's tough trying to see everybody without it right in front of you. Scribble says he's ready for the season. Me too, dude. We are probably less than 2 months away now. Keeper league question for you. 1 quarterback, half PPR, start 8, 3 wide receivers. Keep 2 while drafting from the 12 spot. Champ status. Love to see it. Chase Brown at the 401, ETN at the 601, Fannin at the 1001, Washington at the 1001, or Caleb Williams at the 912. So we're keeping how many of them? 2 of them. Keep 2. 3 wide receivers. I think I'm going to keep Chase Brown as one of them because I think Chase Brown's probably in a 1 quarterback league. He's probably a second to early 3rd round pick. So you're getting some good value on him, keeping him. And then I would probably... I'm between Fannin and ETN. I think I just lean ETN here. Actually, the right answer might be Caleb, even on 1 QB. I think I'm gonna go Chase Brown and Caleb. That's my final answer, JMO. Don't don't ask me again, because I might change my answer again. But I'm going Caleb and Chase Brown. I think those are the 2 that my heart's telling me to go with. DJ Moore, Mike Evans, Drake London, and now Odunze. These have been my biggest guys. My guys. We don't have to talk about anyone before that. I was huge on Ajayi. That's fair. I was a big Brandon Ayuk guy, and then in the offseason, I made a video about it on the channel. Maybe some of you guys remember it, but it was like, these players are going to make or break my fantasy football season, and I was big on Ayuk, and everybody was like, sell Ayuk, sell Ayuk. He's not going to be able to produce the same. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to just keep Ayuk on my team. You know how that went. Not good. Not good, man. Curious on your thoughts on Devontae Smith. Buy, sell, hold in Dynasty for you. I think he's a hold right now. Right now on KTC, he's being valued as like, I think he's like wide receiver 18. And so for me, that's probably right where he belongs. I could see him going a little bit higher than that, producing higher than that. I don't really see him being lower than that, but I'm nervous about this Eagles offense in general without AJ Brown. So for me, he's a hold. I can see the volume increasing, but I don't know what the offense looks like long-term for them. We got a visitor over here. Let's see. Scribble says, I feel like this year the week 1 overreactions are going to be insane. They might be, man. I feel like every year they are, but we've had a boring offseason for the most part with a bad rookie class and, you know, not a lot of trades. I don't feel like we did have like the AJ Brown. Maybe I'm underselling the offseason, but feels like it's been slower, so we might overreact once football's actually being played. AC says, bro, I remember one of the first videos I actually watched was a sleeper video on Gadsden that you did really early in the summer, and that shaped a lot of the rookies I got for cheap. Dude, I remember I did a video. I think I know the video you're talking about. I think JCM was in that video too, right? It was Gadsden, Ja'Cory Krosky, Merritt. I think Taj Brooks was in that video. A couple other guys, but yeah, I was in on Gadsden last year. I was in on JCM. I think those are the 2 like late round hits that I was successful taking shots on. A couple of guys that I think I was in on were like I said, Taj Brooks was somebody that I was in on that he actually didn't turn into anything, and then I can't remember the other ones, but Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that worked out for you, man. It worked out for me too. I was able to flip both Gadsden and JCM for a lot more than I spent to get them onto my roster in the first place. A-Rod says, how do you feel about doing team reviews during these weekly live sessions? Not saying for free, obviously, just with you doing them offline, feel like you can get more, not assuming you need more. Fully enjoy that comment, and don't feel like you need to like tiptoe or you're not going to offend me, bro. We're good. I know who you are, A-Rod. We're good. I think it just comes down to a couple different things. For me, I've thought about it because I've toyed about it where it's like, should I do this as a piece of content? I always worry about the long-term legs of it. I don't know how well they're going to be doing after the live stream. And not that I'm doing content for views, but it's part of the algorithm, part of what you need to do to grow a channel. So I worry about the legs of it after a live stream. And the other part is when I do go live, I want to be able to interact with you guys, and I want to talk with you, and I want to be able to answer your questions. But if somebody's paying for a team review from me, I also want to give them my fully undivided attention and really give them information for their team that can be helpful and look at their team in a constructive way and you know, do that and give that the time of day. And I worry about not being able to do both of those things at the same time, answer your questions, talk to you guys, and give them undivided attention. So that's kind of why I've done it separately. The third part, and more of a small part of it, is if they play in leagues with people that are watching, or they want it to be private so they can go make some of those moves without other people knowing. Because the worst thing I could do is tell them, go do this and make this trade and try and buy this player that's on this manager's team. And then that manager's watching. And he's like, I'm not going to give you that guy because I saw Andrew said that on the live stream. Like, I don't want that to happen either. So I want you to be able to take that information and share it how you want to share it and do with it what you want to do with it. Hopefully that makes sense. In redraft, who are your top 5 picks? I mean, my top 3 for sure. And this is one QB, I'm assuming, but it's going to be Jamar Chase. Well, let me say them in order because I don't want it to get confused. Bijan Robinson 1, Gibbs 2, Chase 3, Puka 4, and then probably 5 is going to be probably JSN. Like, that's probably my top 5. Feels very basic. But if it's super flex, you throw Josh Allen into it over JSN. It'd probably be Bijan Gibbs, Allen, Bijan Gibbs, Chase, Allen, and then Puka probably if it's super flex. For my job, I have it split like this, doing virtual meetings 40%, then 60% of the time I'm listening to Dynasty Sports Podcast. Well, it's the way you got to do it, man. And if your work's getting done, nobody can say shit to you. And that's what I've always made sure to do in my life, everywhere that I go. And it's just, I think it's part of who I am as a core, but it's like, if you can just do your job at a high level, no matter what you're doing, if I can just do it at a high level, you really can't say shit to me as long as the numbers and everything looks good afterwards. So like, I was in sales for a long time. I've talked about this on the channel, but like I was in sales for a long time, high ticket dollar item sales, where we were doing SaaS sales, which is just software sales. And I was calling people all over the country and selling them a software. And we're talking like deals that I was doing were somewhere between $250,000 deal and, you know, as low as like probably 10 to 15K per deal, but up to like $250,000 to $500,000 deal is what I was doing. And, I'm very competitive at my core. So what I would do is every month we would get an updated sales leaderboard, and I had to be at the top of the leaderboard, and I would print it out. We were all in little cubicles, and I would print it out and I would put it on my cubicle at the very top. So anybody who walked by, all of my people in that row, buddies of mine, like they would walk by, they would see the leaderboard first thing when they came to talk to me, when they came to go sit down at their desk, they would have to see the leaderboard, and my name would have to be at the top of that. And if it wasn't, I needed to work harder. If I was at the top of it, you can't say shit to me if I'm spending some time talking to people while I'm at work, or if I'm whatever, like shooting emails off while I'm watching a video on my phone or listening to music or whatever. You can't say shit to me because I'm at the top of the leaderboard. So I always give it a reason to where my actions are backed up by the work that I'm doing. So to come back to you, A-Rod, if you're putting in the work at work and somebody comes by and you're doing that, they can't say nothing to you. And that's the best way to do it, man. Traded Neighbors and Stroud for 2 mid-27 firsts, 1 mid-28, 1 mid-29, and 3 mid-27 seconds, and Casey Concepcion. Which side would you take? Well, I think Neighbors for me is probably 2.5 firsts. I think Stroud is probably a first these days. So I think you have the value side. This is going to be context, man. Brendan, if you were a rebuilding team, you can take those picks. That's fine. I think there's more value potentially on that side, but there's a lot of risk that you inherit on that side as well. So I would say for me, the value is there with those first, but don't sit and wait on all of them and just draft them. I would use those for other trades. And if you're rebuilding, that's a lot of flexibility. This is so tough, but 4 firsts and 3 seconds, that's a lot to pass up, man. I think you got to take that side. Crazy trade, start 9, Superflex, start 9, half-point tight end premium, Garrett Wilson, James Cook, Brian Thomas Jr., Hawkinson for Bijan, Ladd, and Mariota. Sheesh. What would you give on top of James Cook to get to Bijan? I think Ladd and Garrett Wilson are pretty close right now in value. Mariota and Hawkinson, we could probably throw them out of the deal. It doesn't really matter. It's BTJ and Cook. It's probably a fair trade, man. But start 9, you want the superstars, so I think you go Bijan and Ladd. I just realized we got super far behind. I've been sitting here yapping, so I'm going to try and speed through a couple of them until we get caught up. Not all the way caught up, but I want to make sure that we answer as many of these as possible before we get on out of here. So let's see. Do you think it's time to trade Jamar Chase? I was thinking Ibuka in a 27-1 for him. I don't think so. I would still rather have I would still rather have Jamar Chase over Ibuka in a 27-1. And I love Ibuka, so I'd rather have Jamar still. I was thinking about trying to go for Neighbors, but the knee is making me nervous. I think if you can do it straight across, which it's definitely in the range of outcomes right now with the knee on Neighbors. Like if you can go straight across 1 for 1, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. He was a better talent, better player coming out. And I believe when he's healthy, he's going to be much higher scored than Tetairoa McMillan is with Bryce Young right now. If you're contending, never sell Chase. Yeah, probably good logic. AC says, yes, that video. Now look, this is the issue because now I don't know what video we're talking about. I definitely said to do a video and now I don't know what we're talking about. So you might have to remind me. Tips on when and how to rebuild. I think you just have to look at your team very constructive and say, am I a top 3 to top 4 team? Am I a true contender? Is there enough depth to survive injuries? If there's injuries to my team, am I going to be able to still go out and be a top scoring team? If the answers to those questions are no, it's probably time to rebuild. And then the tips for when to do it: buy injuries, buy uncertainty, ambiguous backfields, try and find places where you can see value insulation. And when you do see that value insulation, sell and take your profit, put it in your pocket and keep it pushing. So try and snowball that down the road in a rebuild. As a non-Discord member, I would pay for a team review. LOL, nothing else, just to support Brother Mott. I appreciate you, bro. You don't have to be a Discord member to get a team review, by the way. If you go to the link in the description here, there's a link that takes you to my Hop link. Let me just show you. I've showed you guys before. Let's see. And we'll just do this quick here. I think it's going to pull up the thing from yesterday because we did a mock draft, but it's going to pull that up. But it is what it is. You're still going to see the settings from the mock draft. But see this link right here? This link, hop.bio/theleagueFFB, that's in the Discord. That's in the description of every YouTube video. It's in the comment section. It's going to be on all my socials. If you click that, here's where you get the team review. That's all you have to do. It's the best way to do it. So you don't have to be a Discord member to do that if you don't want to. All right, let's keep it pushing. As a viewer, the last thing I want to watch is team reviews. That's what I kind of feel most people feel that way. I think it's a niche video topic that people do and like, or do like. If you do like it, I think it's obviously content that can help you, because you think about how I think about rosters and you can learn tendencies that I have, but it's not applicable to your team for the most part. So I think people check out because of that, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong. Keeper league, keep 3, Superflex, Lamar, Herbert, Genty, Bowers, Pickens, Odunze, BTJ, Olave, 6-point passing touchdown, full PPR, no tight end premium. I'm trying to vote for tight end premium, but we'll see. Well, if you do get that passed, you keep Bowers. But I think you keep Genty. I think you keep Bowers actually either way, and then probably Lamar would be my last one. So in a keeper league, it's probably those 3, Genty, Lamar, and Bowers. If you don't want to keep Bowers because of the non-tight end premium, but I think he's going to be beneficial no matter what, I think the other answer is probably Herbert or Pickens. But those 3, Genty, Bowers, and Lamar, would probably be the ones that I keep. JD5 or Mendoza and a mid-27 first plus JMO. It's going to be JD5 for me. Oh, wait, this changes things. 1-year punt. It's still going to be JD5 for me. I think if you're... The ceiling for Mendoza is not even close to the ceiling that you can get with JD5, so I think I'd still rather have him. 12-team Superflex. Traded A.J. Brown for Jacobs and a 27 mid to late third. I think I would rather have A.J. Brown here, man. By a decent amount, I think. Let's see. 10-team with loaded wide receiver room, Chase, CD, Rice, Lemon, and London. And that is to the question, the Chase question. Yeah, I'm still keeping Chase here, especially in a 10-team. This trade just went down in my league. Somebody traded away Igbukah for Jameson and Parker Washington. Hate that. Would rather have Igbukah 7 days out of the week and twice on Sundays, man. Tommy, second question. Feeling good. Quarterbacks are Hurts, Lamar. Running backs are McCaffrey, Jacobs, Brees, Brooks, Kenny G, and Fannin. Kenny G, that brings back Kenny Galladay memories, man. Wide receivers are Nico, T, Zay, Waddle, Rome, Godwin, Hunter. Do I need a wide receiver up tier? I think you could use one if it's affordable. The reality is I'd probably just be trying to take the hype on Jonathan Brooks plus a guy like T. Higgins and see where that can up tier me, but I don't know how far that's going to get you up the board. So could you use one? Yes. Is it feasible with your current roster? I don't know. Unless you're going to consolidate 2 of those bigger names at the wide receiver position. Like, can you consolidate Nico and Waddle together and get yourself into an elite tier? Maybe that's something that's a little bit easier said than done. But that would be the other way. What percentages do you suggest? This is an interesting question. I like this one, Rob. What percentages do you suggest to use for the top 3 payouts? So in my leagues where you're not doing prizes for any other, whatever, in my redraft league, we do more prizes like best record and most points scored and things like that. But in a dynasty league, I would go, and it's going to depend on your buy-in, I guess, for percentage wise. But what we would do would be third place gets their money back. So whatever the buy-in is, that's what they get in prize money. They essentially played that season for free. Your second place team is going to double their money. So if the buy-in is $100, they win $200, essentially refunding the season that they just played and buying their buy-ins for the next season for free. So that's kind of how we do it. First place gets everything else. It's a top-heavy one, but the champ gets paid. Second place gets to play this year and next year for free. And third place gets to play this year for free, or they played that year for free. Hopefully that makes sense, Rob, but that's the way that we do it. I just got Jaden Daniels at the 208. Man, Daniels, that's insane. Love to see that. Trading for running back, that was one I was able to get. Makes sense. I'm trying not to pull up all of your guys' conversation all up on screen. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just eavesdropping. Steve says, do you play in any Devy leagues? I've played in Devy leagues. I no longer play in Devy leagues, and that's not necessarily by choice. One of the Devy leagues that I was in early on folded. I was early days of playing Dynasty Fantasy Football at the time, and I joined that one too because I thought it was interesting. I didn't know much about college football, but I knew that I would always scout the upcoming draft class, so I figured why not. That league ended up folding, so I don't play in any. I've been waiting, and maybe this is bad, but I've been waiting to give it a second go until Sleeper or somewhere supports Devy. And I think the main thing is I think it's just me being picky. I want all my fantasy football teams in the same place. I don't want to have to go to ESPN for one and Flea Flicker for one and MFL for another and Sleeper for another. I just want all of my leagues in one place, and they are on Sleeper for my leagues right now. So if everything could be on Sleeper, better for me. But I'm not against them. I definitely would have some fun in Devy leagues. I'm doing, I've been ripping some of these college football best bowl mania underdog drafts right now, and I've built some real cool looking squads with some college prospects. So I definitely dabble in some of that. College football best ball has been really fun. Tips on making a 3-team trade. Well, the funny answer is you just got to find a sucker and then be willing to work with somebody, because that's usually what most of these 3-team trades look like. But I think the reality is you got to be able to find two managers that are open to the idea of it, but you got to be able to present a trade that makes everybody feel like they're getting something that helps them. So that's just general trade advice for anybody. But if I see that this guy has 7 wide receivers and this guy has 3, but that guy has 2 running backs and that guy has, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can give him something that he needs by giving that guy something he needs, and this is how I'm going to benefit it for me. So think about those 2 guys first and then how it affects you. Rate the team. Quarterback JD and Caleb, running back Achane, Jeremiah Love, CMC, James Cook. Wide receivers are Chase, Puka, Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, BTJ, Evans, Loveland, Hawk. Yeah, I mean, this is a damn good team, and I think you know this one. I love the quarterbacks. 2 top 5 dynasty quarterbacks in my rankings right now with Caleb and JD. Achane and Jeremiah Love are 2 top 5 to 6 dynasty running backs in my rankings right now. CMC, obviously, an ultimate win now piece. James Cook is a top 7 running back in my dynasty rankings right now. So you got lots of help there. Chase and Puka, Neighbors. I mean, dude, this is, if it's not a 10, it's a 9.5. Like, this is a damn good roster. Crazy that you can even build this, especially in a 12 team, dude. Fantrax has it, but it sucks. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I haven't seen somebody do Devy at an elite level. I'm old enough to remember when Sleeper came out. It's not really that old, but I remember when Sleeper came out, and it was like, holy shit, like, Sleeper just changed the game for fantasy football platforms, and we were getting everybody to leave our ESPN league and transition over to Sleeper, and we were doing that with everything. I haven't seen anybody do that for Devy. Like, nobody's come in and taken the Devy world by storm from a fantasy football platform standpoint. I was thinking about going for Henderson or Judkins, but I'm not really sold on either. What running backs do you like? I think they're all in committees. Yeah, I mean, look, I like Judkins and I like Henderson. I think I like Judkins more than Henderson at this point in time, but like, just what running backs do I like? I think that's a fairly vague question. I like Kenneth Walker. I don't think he's really going to be in a committee. I'm just trying to go in that range of where you have Judkins. Breece Hall's probably not in a committee. You just don't love the offense. And then you're probably looking at like James Cook and Taylor. But I actually think most of those guys outside of Henderson, I think Henderson is the only one that's in a committee in that group that we just talked about. Cook, Taylor, Judkins, Walker, Breece, even Chase Brown to an extent. I don't think any of those guys are in committees other than Henderson. What do you do when you get offered a brutal, ridiculous trash offer? For example, yesterday I got offered Derrick Henry for Dart and Willis. Do you just reject and ignore, roast? I'm trying to be a grown-up. Yeah, I've struggled with this, and I've handled this different ways in a bunch of different times. You know, sometimes it's like you catch me on the right day, and I'm going to let your ass know that you just hit me with some disrespectful shit, and I'm going to show the group chat that you gave me some disrespectful shit too. Like, I've had days where I set the world on fire. So, you know, I've had my fair shares. I've also, you know, more often than not, especially these days. I try and stay less confrontational these days. Younger me was more hot-headed. As I've gotten older, much less hot-headed. But now I just kind of reject and move on. However, I think the best thing you can do, if you actually, assuming you actually want to make a trade, and it's a player that you would actually trade, you send something a little bit lopsided back to them. I'm not saying give them a super egregious, like obviously a troll offer, but if you send something over their way where it's like, oh, he's coming aggressive back, but maybe there's somewhere to work, I would do that one time. If it does lead to a middle ground offer or something like that, or at least a reasonable offer coming your way for the third offer that they come back with, yeah, but it depends on how you want to, negotiate back and forth. Some people don't like to even entertain it. I just think for me, it's like, if you send me something crazy, and then I send you something a little less crazy, but it's in my favor, and then you send something now that's a reasonable offer, now we can play ball. And it just cost me one time of shooting you a counter. I just had to do the work one time, and now we're playing ball with a reasonable offer. So either way, I mean, you can decline and move on. You can light up the world. I've done all of them. But I think one counter is always a decent mark to try and hit. Trying to get the Infinity Gauntlet. I don't blame you. Are there any players you find yourself drafting a lot when you're doing your college best ball drafts? Yeah, I mean, right now I've been drafting a lot of Ahmad Hardy. Ahmad Hardy's been getting discounted in those drafts because of the gunshot incidents that he had at the concert that he was at. People are kind of nervous about, is he going to be ready for the regular season? And I've been drafting a lot of Ahmad Hardy in the second round. Actually, even in the third round, I think I've been getting a lot of Ahmad Hardy. So I like him. Darian Mensah is somebody that I like right now from Miami, the quarterback, especially in those college best ball tournaments. They're super flex, and Russian quarterbacks tend to have a lot more upside. So I like him. Been taking some shots on the LSU and the USC transfers. I know they've just had a couple of guys come in. One of them is Jace Brown. Yeah, Jace Brown. Right? I think so. Yeah, Jace Brown transferred into LSU. He's one of the guys. They had another guy come over from NC State as well. USC's had some guys transfer over. I like those offenses. When it comes to how I build these college football teams, you're trying to go for, at least for me, I like to go my Russian quarterbacks early. I like to go some bell cows because it feels like the running backs, they dry up very quickly, and then you're in committees the rest of the way. I like to try and find an elite tight end. So Jamari Johnson, Trey'Dez Green, these are guys that I'm looking at right away if I can. And then I go wide receivers in offenses that I like later in drafts. So like Lane Kiffin as a play caller. So LSU, I'm going to take those wide receivers where I can. I like Lincoln Riley as a play caller. I'm going to go get that where I can. I like Kellen DeBoer as a play caller. I'm going to go in and get those wide receivers where I can. Like, you go to these bigger programs and you find some of these guys. Like, I try and buy the offenses because the wide receiver position in college football, best ball drafts, is a little bit more ambiguous. And it's hit and miss. So get your bell cows, get your Russian quarterbacks, get an elite tight end, and then committee approach the wide receiver position later. Any backup quarterbacks you could imagine pulling a Mac Jones and being a starter next year? I'm assuming this is not college football now. We're talking about NFL. Any quarterbacks that I could say? I mean, to be honest, dude, like, I know people are going to roll their eyes when I say this, but I think J.J. McCarthy still can be a starter at the NFL level. I don't know if it's going to be with Minnesota. My heart wants it to be with Minnesota. I don't know if it will be. I think he can be a starter at the next level still. Will Howard is a backup quarterback that I've been talking about maybe end up being the future. I know Drew Allard just got picked there, but he's more of a developmental guy, so maybe Will Howard. Carson Beck. Like, those would be the guys at the top of the name right now, or top of the list as far as names go for me. Need your thoughts on this as a fellow Vikes fan. Traded away Jay Jettas in a 28 first for Alec Pierce in a early to mid 27 first, third pick approximately. An additional late 27 first and a 27 third. Super flex, 1 point PPR. Okay. I mean, Jettas is somebody that I'm not really trying to get off of at this point in time either, but let's see if we can do the math. Top 3 pick, another first, feels light. I think what I don't like here, let me just say this as honest as I can. Vikings 5-5-5-7. As a Vikings fan, I don't like it. I don't think the compensation is there. I don't understand why you would have had to give the 28 first into this deal. I think it's a little bit of an overpay. And so I am going to lean. I'm going to choose the Jay Jettas and the 28 first side. I think you might have sold a little bit low. But if that top 3 pick ends up number 1 and you got Jeremiah Smith, you're having a whole different conversation. Outside of the normal rules, Superflex, PPR, etc., what are some of your favorite out-of-the-norm scoring settings you've enjoyed in your leagues? Favorite thing that we do, it's controversial. I've mentioned it on here before, and people were like, ew, gross, don't want it. Take that back. Go somewhere else. We don't want to hear you talk about that, is a league median. I love league medians. I think they're so fun. Just adds another element to every single week. Not only do I have to beat my opponent, I have to be a top 5 scoring or a top 6 scoring team if you're in a 10 or 12-man league. I have to be a top half of the scoring of the league scoring team that week to get another win. If I don't, I get another loss. So I could go 2-0, 1-1, or 0-2 every single week. I think it just adds another element. It's fun. And then you get sweats too, where like we've had times where you're beating your opponent by like 40 points going into Monday Night Football, but you're like 2 points away from catching the median. So you still have something to sweat, even though your matchup is kind of over. You know, I already beat my matchup, but now I got something to sweat for on Monday night. So I like that one. Sorry, I'm trying to hold back a cough a little bit. But, yeah, I'd say the league median is like my favorite setting that is not necessarily normal. And then 6-point passing touchdowns are my favorite leagues too. I like 6-point passing touchdowns. Good buzz about Bajent. Could be. How do you feel about Caldwell and Cyrus? Are there any other waiver stashes you might like? I like Cyrus Allen a lot, man. I think he's really good. I like the opportunity. I don't mind the Caldwell shout either, but I think he's probably a harder sell for me than Cyrus Allen as far as scheme fit goes. I'm trying to think of some of the other guys that I've talked about lately. Give me 5 seconds and I'll be able to tell you. I'm pulling up my draft class data. Justin Jolie, if he's still on waivers. I like Kevin Coleman, who's been on waivers. Jack Endries, the tight end for the Bengals, is on waivers. He's somebody that I think is interesting to an extent. Xavier Thomas. Those would be kind of the top guys at this point in time. For me, I think so. Hopefully that was helpful. Is this an overpay? Devontae Adams, Omar Cooper, Chuba Hubbard, TJ Hawkinson at 28 third for AJ Brown, Kyle Pitts. No. I mean, you just listed a bunch of guys that I don't really care about, and then I get AJ Brown and Kyle Pitts that I think can actually help me. So I would much rather have the AJ Brown and Kyle Pitts side. Do you think Jordan Mason outperforms his ADP this year? I think there's a chance. I mean, the early buzz right now is that he's the 1A, and then Aaron Jones is actually the 1B because of the pass catching stuff, and they like Jordan a little bit more as an early down grinder. So I think he could outperform his ADP. However, that backfield is honestly a little bit of a gross backfield that I don't know I'm going to be taking too many shots on. But if you're going to take a shot on them, I mean, I guess they're so cheap that you might as well take some shots on them. But yeah, he can definitely outperform his ADP. Wanted to trade Willis on a rebuilder coming out of a startup. Trade would leave me with 0 starting quarterbacks. Concerned it'll tick off some managers in my league. Any thoughts you got on this? Yeah, I understand the concern and understand why you might not want to do that, because you don't want to piss people off coming out of a startup draft too, brand new league. The reality is I would just ask your commissioner first and be like, hey, I know this could be an issue, but maybe it's not in your bylaws. Like, do you even have bylaws? Like, you probably should if you don't. But hey, we don't have anything about this in the bylaws. I wanted to ask because I want to trade Malik Willis. I might be able to find a quarterback before the start of the season, but I don't know. Like, I would just do it, and I'd talk to your commissioner, float it out. That's kind of a good grace. You know, you extend the olive branch right away. But if it's not in your bylaws, I'd say you can do it. If it's not in the rules, go do it. Mike Evans, JCM Hawk for Henry Kelsey. Trying to pull off the Unk trade. I mean, you could argue that Henry's the highest point scoring asset here, and then maybe Kelsey. Him and Mike Evans are probably close, so probably a fair deal. See, I told you, these people don't like it, man, but I love it. I love it. I don't play in a league that doesn't have it. That might even piss you off even more, Moggs. Is Coker a nice stash? I think he's interesting. I wouldn't say he's like a guy that I'm banking on being a superstar. I love the median. Takes some of the luck out of it. We've had 2 frauds make the playoffs our first year. See, that too. Like, it does help balance the league a little bit, so some of the better teams are actually making the playoffs. And I'm going to rip through these last couple ones till we get caught up, and then I'm going to get on out of here because we are at the hour mark, but I'm going to try and answer all these questions I can. So this is my last call. If you got final questions, throw them in. Once I get caught up, we're on out of here, and I am going to try and rapid fire this a little bit. Favorite video games to play? I'm in a lull, man. I'm in a lull right now. There's not a lot of video games that I love at this point in time. I've still been playing a little bit of Arc Raiders, kind of waiting for GTA 6. I'm excited for that. But yeah, other than that, like, haven't really been playing too much. My brother and I guess there was like a Pal World update. I don't know if you guys ever played that. It's like a sandbox Pokemon type of game. We played Pokemon games as kids, but they like, I won't say they stole Pokemon, but it's the same idea. You like catch Pokemon in spheres. But they came out with a big update. My brother wants to play that one, so I think we might play that one later this week when he's off of work. 7 Days to Die is a game that I've been playing too. I like these like sandbox survival games. It's a little bit of a unique niche. And then other than that, like just your typical, like I'll hop on 2K or college football or Madden with the homies. But I feel like these days I don't love playing those games as much as some of the other games. And maybe it's just because I talk about sports for a living and everything that I consume is sports. So then when I go to play video games, I want to break from that and go do something else. I had a boatload of fun in my one league, median league last year, but I kept barely sneaking into the top 6 every Monday. Yeah, it's stressful, man. What's the selling price in Dynasty if you have Geno Smith or Jacoby Brissett? If you can get a second, you're happy. What committee backfields are you buying into this year? I would say you try and buy into the Denver backfield with Harvey and J.K. Dobbins. I would say you try and buy into Rashad White, JCM, that backfield. We just talked about the Vikings backfield. I think those are the top 3 that come to mind for me off the top of my head. I'm in a no waiver wire league. Makes the draft more loaded the next year. Total points league 2, half league fee. That's crazy. That's crazy. Should I pick up Diggs off of waivers or drop either Quentin Johnston, Golden, or Shedeur? No, I would not. That median in every league statement gave me the heebie-jeebies. Good. I hope you lose sleep over it. I love Pal World. I got to come back to it then. Yeah, that's what they said. There's a big update, man. We played it very heavily for like 2 weeks. We had like a 2-week phase. I know they usually say that about Minecraft, but we had a 2-week phase and then we kind of got out of it. But I guess there was a massive update recently. Send Achan for Hampton. He said I'd need to add something else like BTJ. Am I tripping or is he asking Gibbs Bijan? Yeah, he's tripping a little bit. I have those guys in the same tier for what it's worth. Buccaneers backfield's crazy, but Loki true, but crazy. Benefits of playing with no divisions. Oh, that's another thing. We don't play in divisions. None of my leagues have divisions. I'm glad you bring that up, Rob. Just strictly, the benefit is that the best teams make the playoffs. The best records make the playoffs. You don't get a weak division where somebody sneaks in. So no divisions is what we play as well. That's another thing. Would you keep Price as a contender or pivot to another running back? I mean, if you can pivot Price to, let's see, if you can pivot Price to like, you have to add, the thing is with Price, you have to add something on top to get to the guys that I really want. But like, if you can add something on top to get to Chase Brown or Breece Hall, I do it. But other than that, I think I'm just keeping Jadarian Price. But that's it, folks. We are all caught up. We're going to get on out of here. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me. Like I said, we're going to do this every single Friday for the rest of the year. So if you guys didn't catch this one, you're watching on the replay. Appreciate you for that first and foremost. But second of all, you can come in next Friday, hang out with us, ask us some questions in the comments. So other than that, nothing else for you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you go join the Discord, do all that good stuff. Show us some love. Appreciate you guys. You have a good weekend. Peace out.